coming to you right here at AIBC Europe. With me is Dieter Brockmeyer of Diplomatic World Group. Dieter, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. A great pleasure of being here.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, and it's always a pleasure to have the chance to represent our brand and to explain it, because it's not so easy to understand, especially in this technological environment. What is a diplomatic think tank doing on a tech conference?
That's a very good start. Now, I want to ask you, Diplomatic World Group, and under that, correct me if I'm wrong, is Diplomatic World Institute. Can you tell us what you guys do?
Well, we were founded in 2019 as a spin-off of the Diplomatic World magazine that is almost a quarter, 25 years on the market now, and is serving it used to serve the Brussels diplomatic community, but now it's going much further. We're a global brand by now, and so all stakeholders in this field are one way or the other involved with the think tanks, and the EU Parliament is receiving the magazine exclusively in their inboxes 4 times a year. And so in 2019, we established the Diplomatic World Institute brand, launching right into the pandemic. What wasn't the easy start, but we survived. And and it is basically to interact, or to be an interface between diplomacy, business, culture, and all these things to tackle the problems and we are faced with. And well, the world is not becoming easier right now.
Right now, very, very interesting, the things that you are doing. I want to ask you, what are current projects that you can share to us?
Well, of course, the innovations, and especially technology innovations, are really impacting everything, including the diplomatic world. And so actually that's one of our projects we already had lined out when we started, but then because of some global developments, it became delayed. But now we have joined forces with Sculptor, Global Academy, Law Tech Education, and with the Institute for Science, Entrepreneurship and Investment in Miami. The other one is based in India, and it's bringing together all the law faculties in India, the major law faculties in India. So it's very strong partners. And we now launched this Deep Tech Law and Diplomacy course. The formal launch will be in December, but we're already in the promotional part. So we're having actually a symposium on this topic with some very interesting speakers already up the coming Saturday.
Wow. So many projects on the pipeline. Now, I want to ask you, as I've mentioned, we are here at AIBC Europe, and of course, diplomacy. How are the technologies such as maybe AI or blockchain, if it is, impacting diplomacy, how it is right now in terms of, adapting to emerging technology like that?
Well, as I said before, these technologies impact everything. Some obvious things, if we stay in the field of diplomacy, the role of an ambassador in a country is significantly changing, because of the new communication means, it has become a lot easier for the head of state and the ministers to stay in direct contact with their compatriots in other countries. That doesn't mean that an ambassador is losing importance or becomes redundant. It's just his role is just changing. Or another field, of course, is disinformation, fake news, and especially when you see what can be done with AI, it is really more difficult now to bring out your message, and also to keep messages more confidential because of social media and other platforms. things that you should keep confidential leak out a lot easier than it used to be in the past. So all this is creating a huge impact only on the field of in the field of diplomacy. But of course, that's not the only thing we are covering, because our what we try to accomplish in our role as interface with all these other sectors I mentioned before is much more far-reaching.
Right. Now, I want to ask you, are you seeing, this technology as a tool as well? As a tool, because of course these new things, they pose, challenges, but are you seeing this as something that will really, shape the future of diplomacy as well?
It will shape the future of diplomacy, but we also have to look at the role diplomacy is taking, being an intermediator between countries and to solve problems. Of course, we have a lot of different perspectives on how the world should be.
Yeah.
And especially in times of change, it really becomes very important to keep this dialogue and to be ready for compromise. And so that's basically one of the things we are working on, and we are bringing together industries, and we're bringing together societies, and we have to bring together everybody else, all stakeholders in this thing, because the innovation cycles will not slow down. In the contrary, when we see AI on steroids, quantum computing, the cycles will be much faster than we know it today, and I don't think we are prepared for that. So this is one of the huge challenges we have to get ready for, to make sure that innovations are used for the health of the planet and not for anything else.
Very, very good point. Now, I want to go to this book. Tell us about that. You are an author, of course, of other books, but tell us more about this book in particular.
Well, to give a short history of this book. So when we were launching the Institute, one of our first things was that we launched the Holistic World Innovation Trophy, annual award globally, where we honor innovations or ideas that have not yet the full coverage they deserved on a global scale. On one hand, to support these ideas; on the other hand, to foster a discussion on what is a good way of innovative. And yes, but then when Corona came, and we realized we have to take another approach, so this holistic came into the wording, and of course we had to explain it. So my first book came from it, analyzing what holistic and innovation can be, and how all the different aspects in our globe are fitting together and impacting and influencing each other. And that's why everything should be seen in a more holistic way, and that is not really in line with our mindset. So we really have to train ourselves and educate ourselves to be able to cope with this innovation challenge. Well, and then now the campus, that's this book.
Yes, this.
To cut a long story short, is the next it's the next step, so to speak, explaining the concept of holistic innovation and how we can create solutions, and using it to create solutions. So basically, the idea is of bringing all the activities we already launched, like the award, the academy, the publishing, and everything that belongs into this together into a innovation platform where we invite people to discuss with us so we can find compromise and solutions in a very complex world.
All right, now Dieter, finally, I want to ask you, what's your message for those watching right now in terms of, the future of diplomatic world?
The future of what?
Of the diplomacy.
Oh, the future of diplomacy. That's really a huge a huge question, and I'm a humbled person. So, the future of diplomacy, I think diplomacy is becoming increasingly important, more important than it has been in the past already, and it needs to define a new role, because we need to be. We have the chance of using diplomacy of all the different fields: cultural diplomacy, business diplomacy, international diplomacy. All these things need to work together for the understanding of our planet and to tackle our problems, because these problems are so complex that they only can be tackled in a unified approach.
Well, Dieter, I like picking up your brain. Thank you so much for sharing so many great insights. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for having me.